Welcome everyone. It's taken me a few days to get to you guys with these messages. I've tried to do this video for the past 3 days and the energy just wasn't right. So today I'm finally doing it. I have the twin flame read on the table for you guys, and I have two of my messages of the day. There's definitely significant energy coming through there. But there's a couple things about today and the messages I was getting this morning that I want to bring to you first. So go ahead and take a few deep breaths while you're listening to me. Actually, I'm going to ring the bell here too. I have some incense going here. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. I hope we're having an amazingly beautiful day. It's not quite, it was sunny earlier, but it's kind of overcast again now, which it's been really kind of dark like that. Every time I went to make the video, it was dark like that outside, and it was very unmotivating. I wasn't feeling depressed at all in the past few days. And I was doing my reads. I couldn't do the video part. I guess I just wasn't meant to. So the message that I was getting this morning, I was doing my Instagram message for my Crystal Angels message. And what came up at the end of that was the stone kyanite. So Kyanite. And Kyan is basically a rocket propellant. It's a poisonous gas. It's cyan, this cyanogeny, I think it is. It contains cyanide, so a chemical that contains cyanide or a cyanide group. Poisonous gas, a pseudohalogen, a rocket propellant, which that stood out because so many more rockets are going to be going up in the air, right? And it puts out this poisonous gas. It also comes from insecticides and is used in chemical warfare. And of course, kyanite is associated with blue dyes as well. The color cyan, the Cyan color. So when I was processing my message for this stone, the kyanite, what's coming up was, this poisonous gas to the nth degree and the path of the sea, or the thief, right? Something's trying to divert or pollute, So inside the root of the sea was coming up. So I was getting a hole in the bottom of the sea that diverts the water elsewhere. And also cyan also means CIAN, which is ancient or enduring. And then also Thailand and Japan were coming up with the Cape Cayenne in Japan, and then Thailand, the Cayenne people were also coming up, which have Tibetan and Burma origins. So, and then Myanmar came up as well because their origins were from there, but they were fleeing from persecution from Myanmar, and Mar is the sea. So there's all this energy about the sea. So I was guided to look up holes at the bottom of the sea. What's going on? Is there poison coming in? But I was first getting diverting water to other areas purposefully. But what was coming up when I looked that up right away from bgr.com, that scientists are, and this is an article from this year, April 13th, 23, and I looked up the one underneath it too, which was April 24th, 23. Scientists are worried that this leak at the bottom of the sea could spell disaster. not leaking water into Earth's lower crust, but actually oozing warm liquid up into the Pacific Ocean. According to University of Washington, a hole was found atop of the Cascadia Subduction Zone Fault, the Pacific Northwest. It was actually found in 2015 and named Pythias Oasis, and unlike any before, they thought it was leaking almost fresh water into the ocean, but it's not water. They believe it's tectonic lubricant, which was initially estimated to be 16 degrees warmer than the water around the hole, but could be coming from Cascadia megathrust, where the temperatures are estimated at 300 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So the lower pressure between the sediment particles that this would cause could lead to friction between the oceanic and continental tectonic plates, resulting in, of course, a U.S. earthquake. And in this area, the Pacific Northwest is known for one of the largest earthquakes the world has ever experienced. So the article from 4/24/23 from livescience.com was talking about the same thing off the coast of Oregon, but they also mentioned Vancouver Island in Northern California, where explorer Juan de Fuca and the Gorda oceanic plates slide under the North American continental plates, with a history of 9 magnitude or more, which could be also accompanied by a tsunami off Newport, Oregon, seaboard, and it's 3,412 feet down, or 1040 meters. A series of at least small vents in the second article says were bubbling fluids from deep within the fault. And these fluids are coming from crust that was last seen on the surface about 2 million years ago. And again, the lion keeps coming up. So million has lion in it, as well as Lionel Richie came up this morning as well, and we're in the 8th year, which is the lion. And Sirius could be coming up. Our alignment with Sirius could be coming up here too. So then I was meditating for you guys prior to this message, this video. And I was seeing first what looked like, someone like holding a bushel of wheat or something. You know, it was bunched towards the middle. It's 1:33 on the clock right now. It was bunched toward the middle. It looked like it was a metal latch holding this bunch of wheat at the front of something like a missile type of energy going really fast, like bumping into this wheat, and then there's a metal clamp over it holding the wheat on the top of this, and then horizontally going, not going vertically up, but horizontally going really fast. And I was getting the energy of a baby bottle, which then changed to the top of the baby bottle is actually the rocket, and the bottle of the baby bottle is actually the blast of the rocket. So again, accentuating the poisonous gases that the rockets would put off, and God forbid there's a takeoff that goes bad. That kind of energy was coming up. So, and again, this isn't, I'm not putting this information out to cause fear, but we've been told for multiple years now that there's an increased risk of earthquake in the United States area. I read 2 years ago, I'm not sure where that article was, it was from a couple years ago, that in this, I think it was in the springtime, like April, May time period, where we were supposed to get more earthquakes, but we weren't sure exactly what year it was, and I thought it might have been last year, but we didn't have any major earthquakes last year. But this is the 8th year, which is all about power and the storm. I mean, it also is about abundance and sports and big business and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the earth, it's about 7 is the calm before the storm, and the 8 is the storm. So, and we have earthquakes every day. It's not something new, but we don't get a whole lot of earthquakes that are really big in the United States. So this energy is coming up. This warning was about the major fault lines in the United States being activated. Of course, the California faults that we always hear about, but also there's a major fault, I think it's Missouri, right next to Tennessee, which in the article rebounds up to the Philadelphia area where I am in. So it could affect a lot of people. And I actually felt a quake coming in from New Jersey a couple years ago too. It woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It sounded like my bathroom had collapsed. But when I woke up in the morning, it was fine. But I did have a little bit of separation at where my house tends to settle. The same thing that happened like 20 years ago. You know, there's a little bit of separation in the grout. But nothing had happened. But the sound of the quake, of the plates shifting, was, even though nothing happened, it sounded like my whole bathroom had collapsed. So anyway, just wanted to bring that information because it was a download that I received this morning. And it doesn't hurt to be prepared about those things. I actually did add insurance a couple years ago after I felt that quake in my own home. So that's coming up. And again, the rocket fuel with the cayenne poisonous gas that comes out, it's used for a rocket propellant. But I want to get right into these messages for you guys here. So these do go back to last week because I wasn't able to get this video out to you. But it doesn't really matter the timing of it because obviously it was meant to come to you today. And so here we go. So the first one, I'm going to do this one on the table first because this was done on the 28th, right? So before the new year. And then I have two of my messages of the day. One is from the 29th, and then the second one is from, let's see here. The second one's from the 1st. And of course, you can check out my Instagram too, because I've still been posting on Instagram every day. So there's definitely some interesting messages there too. All right, so first the read on the table, we're going to roll the die, see what comes up. For the twin flames, today is the 4th of January, 2024. And the first die that fell was the 12, which is Pisces energy. It's also December. This often comes up for me as Capricorn, the Hanging Man. We also have Capricorn coming up here, and that was interesting. I posted a lot of astrological stuff in my Instagram post today, so you can check that out as well. So Capricorn's all about Saturn and restrictions and responsibilities. And then we have the North Node here, which of course is in Aries right now. And Aries came up in that message as well. So what was coming up from the astrological point, I'm not an astrologist, but sometimes I'll be guided to look up the astrology for the messages I'm getting. So the message was coming up today regarding Capricorn because we have today a conjunction of Mercury and Mars, both in Sagittarius, but they're moving into Capricorn along with Venus, I think the 23rd, and we have the new moon in Capricorn on the 13th. So one moves, I think it's today, into Capricorn, and one moves into Capricorn on the 11th. The 13th is the new moon, I think, and then, or the 11th is the new moon, I forget which. And then the 23rd, I think, Venus moves into Capricorn, as Pluto moves into Aquarius on around the 20th, depending on where you are in the world, I think. So all those planets moving into Capricorn are kind of buffering the change away from Capricorn and Pluto into Aquarius. And we have the conjunction in Sagittarius today, which is, you know, that free-spirited curiosity of the student of life energy here, voicing their actions here today, or taking action and speaking up in a very freeing way, as Sagittarius is, which is a very different energy than Capricorn, which we are moving into then for the close planets, but then moving away from on the 20th as we move more into directly into the Aquarius energy. So we have Capricorn here in the middle. We have the North Node Aries. So Aries was coming up because Pluto and Mars were coming up, right? And Aries is Mars and Pluto is Scorpio. So Scorpio is also coming up. But again, lots about Capricorn. And then the Hanging Man, which for me is Pisces, but also Capricorn. And then with 12, we have Sagittarius highlighted there as well for December. So leading the way in these fire energies of Aries and Sagittarius, and of course the 8th year of Leo, so all 3 fire signs are kind of in the background of this energy right here. And Capricorn is cardinal, and Aries is cardinal in the North Node, and then we have Capricorn again, or Pisces over here, which is mutable. And again, Sagittarius, which is mutable. All right, so basically 2 cardinals and 2 mutables are coming up. So with the read on the table, and I will show you the picture of this. All right, so this is the read on the table. Okay, we have the SIRIAN Starseed deck as the main deck, and then just the Rider-Waite Mini for the clarifiers. And this was done at, I pulled the cards at 5:52 to 5:55, which is the 5 of the Hierophant, the 52 of the Queen of Swords, and the 55 of the Ace of Swords, which is Excalibur, the Truth, the Ace of Swords. And I finished clarifying at 6:04, which was interesting that day because that play on 6 and 4 was coming up a lot for me that day, which is the 10 of Swords, but also the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the innocence of love, and then the ending of the pain of the 10 of Swords. So this is 6:04 with the space between the 6 of the Lovers and the 4 of the Emperor, which is also the 6 of the Spiral and the 4 of the Lambda Leap, the L1. And we have as the major arcana here the Sun or solar deity here in this deck, the Wheel or the Great Wheel, the Starseed, which is normally the Fool, and then the Hanging Man. Before the read, the Chariot and Karma, which is Judgment, came up. And after the read, the Abundant card, which is the Empress, and Ascension, which is the World, came up. There were 2 Wands, 3 Pentacles, 1 Cup, and 1 Sword, which is 23 and 11, which is the King of Wands and Justice. And then as far as the court cards, we had the Knight of Pentacles, along with the 9 of Wands, or the Wounded Warrior, the Page of Pentacles, and before the read was the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and King of Swords. So basically the 3 wise men were coming up, along with the 9 of Swords, which is pain and stress and nightmare type of energy there. And then we have, after the read, the Page of Swords and the King of Cups. So the 3 Kings was definitely coming up. 10, 10, 10 was also coming up. So in this read, normally I do the read and I pull a few cards from underneath the underlying energy and I add a few more at the end. But today, in this read, it was 10, 10, 10. So there's 10 in the main read up to here, then there's 10 cards here, and then 10 cards going down from the underlying energy. And 10, again, 3 10s is 30, which is union also. And the 3 Kings were coming up. These were all separate energies. The 4 and 6, 6 and 4, 5 and 5, 3 and 7, 7 and 3 were also coming up. The energy of the Divine Masculine's heart, which for me in this deck, SIRIAN Starseed deck, is the 4 of Crystals, or 4 of Pentacles, and the Divine Feminine's heart is the 7 of Pentacles in this deck for me. So that energy was also coming up. The 72, or the 7th one down, was the 46 energy of the innocent 2 children energy. The 72 of the 4 of Pentacles, which is the 7th one up at the end here, which I'll show you those extra cards. And then the 9 of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior, is 7th within the read here as you guys, the Twin Flames. So the code line here was all about the number 12 coming from 9 and 3. And MSM was coming up. And now I'm getting this energy of the rocket up again. The T, so Tesla's coming up. the 9, 3 suns, and the Hanging Man were coming up in the code line. Also, the numbers 953 came up, so I looked them up in Gematria. 953, 353, and 818. 953, just a few of the first ones. When was the first word, then Jacqueline, June, and then TH, June, TH, so June to the nth degree. Then Joseph R. Biden came up, Wind, Cow, Kevin Hart, and the Order of the Blue Rose. 353 came up with House, Golden Ticket, Solar Flare, About, Blessings, and 818. So I looked up 818, and that's the first entry was the Christ key, exclamation point, doors shall be shut. Kelso Rodriguez, Canape, I'm not sure, I don't know who that is. You might know who that is. And a probation department also came up, and the shocking truth. So when I looked up MSM as an acronym, it means mirror or signal, maneuver, mainstream, media, methyl sulfonyl methane. I can't read my writing. And then also MSM means fireplace, and the abbreviation of MISLIM, which means I think. Ms. Man, up to T. So kind of like, so instead of Mr. Man, Ms. Man was coming up. Or perhaps the feminine side of a man, up to T, or top dog. And the T can represent a timeout and Tesla and many other representations. But the digamma energy or the twin flame energy of the 4 and the 3 of the Emperor and the Empress, but also the 3 represents the horizontal, eagle soaring, and the 4 represents the vertical, lambda or lambda father leap. The Sun's Knight is adept at wisdom as the Hanging Man. The increase in mainstream media came up. Time the 9 or hermiting Knight of Swords exposing sadness of EP or ESP of the Hanging Man, or signs after death, AD, of ESP Hanging Man, Sophia adept at wisdom. So MSM is used for inflammation purposes, so there may be an increase of use of MSM here. Time the Hermit to IV reflect the 3 solar deities or kings as Southern Man is hung out to dry. Mary Sophia and Mary number 2 consult the top dog, the 9, in reflecting continuously. Abundant sons, 3 sons, the adept wise ones. So we have at 642, which is the Lovers and the 2 of Cups, the underlying energy of the 4 of Wands right here in the underlying energy. And below that is the Chariot upright, Karma, which is the Judgment card reversed, King of Pentacles reversed, 6 of Cups reversed, King of Wands, King of Swords reversed. So all 3 kings here were reversed. And then the 3 of Swords upright with the 9 of Swords upright and the 2 of Cups reversed. So the 3 kings were reversed. In a bold move here with the 4 of Wands upright on top, there could have been a bad call. Or this energy of a bad call or not calling at all. For the King of Pentacles reversed and a falling out with the other 2 kings, the King of Wands and King of Swords both reversed, in a disappointment, a separation, or stress of a breakup, disconnect or distance at home or of a home or union, or a party that's too far for driving. So maybe just disappointment that someone's not coming because it's too far to drive. They don't want to then drink at a party and then drive home. Foolish behavior at night and trapped. And remember, this is from December 28th, so you may be revisiting some New Year's events. Fool year behavior at night. Fool year, what did I say? Fool year? Fool year behavior at night or foolish behavior at night. Trapped and couldn't see where they were going with double Cancer upright here, so really positive Cancer energies, as Aquarius and Aries and Pisces were all reversed. So that could represent the three kings as well. But without a choice, on a quest that's uncomfortable for the Knight of Cups upright. Right? Very interesting, because the three kings were all of the suits except for the cups. And here's the Knight of Cups upright, moving into the King of Cups, perhaps. As we then had the Queen of Wands reversed, the Queen of Pentacles upright, the Ace of Pentacles upright with the Eight of Pentacles reversed. As the Queen of Wands reversed could be spying on the Queen of Pentacles and or to see if he is really at work. As the Queen of Pentacles makes a big offer to help with overtime or with what's not working out. As the Queen of Pentacles perhaps has a mess outside to clean up, but she's not worried about it, uncovered ground, or just enjoying nature, appreciating her own time, money, or energy, or effort, or offering or willing to pay for a malalignment, or to fix things, or investing in her garden or yard, or perhaps noisy neighbors, or at home working overtime at 656, which is the Lovers and the Two of Swords, perhaps keeping to themselves. In the recent past here, we have the Three of Cups reversed. After a party or drinking at home or bad influences or the hangover after New Year's, perhaps impatient King of Wands reversed or with Sagittarius in his chart, is with the Empress upright between him and the King of Swords reversed, who could be a Libra, or in mediation here, or the Empress is upright taking care of the grumpy old man or young men or grown boys expecting their mother to put up with them. The foundation here is the Wheel reversed, a slowdown at home after hard work with the Page of Pentacles upright at 702, which is the Chariot and the High Priestess, awake to surrender to news of starting over. As Libra is reversed, Pisces or Capricorn is reversed, and there could be Sagittarius there as well. We have the central energy of the Two of Pentacles reversed, but in this deck it's very much, the Two of Pentacles is very much about surrendering to all that is when it's upright. So here's this energy of dropping the daily grind in a twist of fate, or a need to surrender to all that is, detoxing to get over any regret or loss, and hanging in the bat cave with cards close to their chest, or yours. Dissatisfied with self, perhaps in a falling out, or a negative past, or dealing with difficult kids, or challenged by the Sun upright, as the Knight of Wands reverse player is at home, and perhaps sharing or exposing, or the Knight of Wands reversed is falling short at home or expected to settle out after a party, or expecting to share expenses here, but trying to get out of it perhaps. And now crowning is the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be stubborn or seen that way and or lazy, or just unable to function with too many choices or delusions of grandeur, as the Queen of Cups reversed is hooked on the Six of Wands' train of good news coming in, right? The one who's victorious with all the attention and followers. And the Queen of Cups reversed hooking on their train, this fiery train of good news coming in, but flipped for the Emperor reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups all reversed, with a fiery leader off to see the old man for some family happiness, healing, or a dream come true. Perhaps that could be the dream come true for an old man who's getting visitors. With the Knight of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords upright, after not calling, stepping up to the plate. So what's then coming up here with the Starseed right here at 7:14? And actually that's interesting because Quaaludes came up in conversation the other day. So 7:14 is the Chariot and the Temperance card of patience and balance, and the Starseed reversed, right? Foolish behavior, knocked for a loop, loopy. So someone might have been doing Quaaludes or some kind of drug like that, or a hangover, the walk of shame, or uninspired dark night or death march with the Knight of Pentacles, and that could be the death march of the end of 2023, with the Nine of Pentacles sovereign, or Knight of Wands reversed, feeling like they fell short of Dark Knight or being the Dark Knight, and the Nine of Pentacles sovereign, or somebody's, dream catch. With Leo upright and Saggy reversed, Scorpio upright and Aries reversed, coming clean in the need for peace or cleaning up just to fall on your face again or fall from grace. And this can reference cleaning up the house just to have it messed up all again, or again, falling from grace and coming back from that and then having that happen all over again. So someone might have made a bad call with strong one who's been through it all, or a pet who's upset, or a face-off or square-off with Scorpio and Leo, with Aries and or Aquarius both reversed here in the middle. The twin flames here seeing themselves as the Nine of Wands reversed, the wounded warrior in surrender, which is good, after investing or implementing a plan with a secret passion, or the secret's out, triggering the King of Cups upright, he's the only king who's upright in this read, to seek the Hermit, Virgo, or counsel, as the Hermit may be overlooked due to trauma of the Queen of Swords reversed, who may be freaking out or verbally abusive, or the Hermit gave the King of Cups advice and the Queen of Swords reversed is pissed off about it, or Divine Feminine coming out about, or to secret passion, with Pisces or Virgo reversed overwhelmed by the King of Cups upright, talking with Hermit in secret while all hell broke loose, with the Queen of Swords reversed, and that can be someone in who's grieving as well, but it could be someone who's lying or verbally abusive or, you know, kind of nasty in that way, or went completely silent as I'm losing my voice. Or the Hermit's emphasizing or epiphanizing caused the Queen of Swords reversed to flip into the Page of Wands upright and become inspired, all of a sudden understanding the secrets of the world perhaps, or understanding the codes, and now I get it. Perhaps Virgo or Pisces reversed, Sagittarius or Aries reversed, was listening to Scorpio and or Virgo upright having a conversation, which actually totally converted them. And it wasn't a conversation with them. They were overhearing it, but it's something that made them get it. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Five of Swords upright, the energy of the frog becoming the prince, but kind of stuck in the middle there in transformation. In the war within, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, perhaps without a job or issues at work, with bliss of divorce, or with now ex, or Taurus reversed and Gemini reversed at war, and challenged by the blocks here of the Page of Pentacles upright, which is the curious student, or that Sagittarius energy, even though it's an earth sign, so it could be an earth sign as well, but it is that energy of being that perpetual student, or receiving an invite or an opportunity, looking back at not sleeping way back when they were a student, or rising above to be that student again, right? Humbling oneself to go from a position of power to be the student again. As the Hanging Man is reversed, awakened to energetic exchange, or the hours of love, or a lot of energy here, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, perhaps paying for recovery or a place to stay, standing up to those who would come against them, exposing drinking or bad influences or third-party situations. And then it brought me to 739, which is that April 9th day, 2024, which is the 739,000th day, at the time 739, which is the 7 of the Chariot and the 39 of the Knight of Cups, and then the 1,000 Suns of Enlightenment. And again, that's April 9th, 2024, in a leap year. And the manipulation of the King of Pentacles reversed in a breakup or disconnect, or at a distance, dropping the ball and running with it. And that can represent New Year's and the ball coming down. Pisces and Capricorn reversed, with Leo upright, Gemini or Virgo reversed, and Cancer upright, awakening Empress, which can represent the planet as well, to the Hermit coming out of the cave to get over it. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss. Perhaps they're paying to complete the cycle, or a need for closure, or their world upside down, and the Page of Swords, with their little light, is getting a message to the Batcave, keeping their cards close to their chest, or with humble means and issues at work, or taking off to get the Divine Feminine to come out of the E-Tower, with the King of Cups upright. As the Page of Swords is standing up to an Aquarius Knight of Swords reversed, or the Knight of Swords reversed could be the Queen of Swords reversed as well, with Pisces in chart to, and again, if I say it's in their chart, it's not usually their sun sign or rising sign, and that's why I specifically say it's in their chart. To work out their issues with the divine feminine coming out with the King of Cups, or investing in unconditional love, or while the divine masculine's in the bat cave not working, figuring out a way to be the King of Cups. Again, that frog to prince energy, or how to be their dream guy at 756, which is the Chariot and the Two of Swords. The home or union in slowdown with the wounded warrior reversed, defensive end, after reunion or none at all, tripping up and challenged by exposure and or energy of embarrassment, of messing up, as the curious student, Page of Pentacles upright and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So here we have two sets of pages and knights reversed, right? Both pages are upright and both knights were reversed. So no movement there. In an ego awakening to the Empress upright, recovering practically and emotionally from dysfunctional family, incomplete, without word of or from the divine masculine, opening their mouth, and love of the divine feminines opening their heart. Okay, so again, the two portals always came up that way of the masculine has to speak, right? Of course, with the feminine has to do with her ability to create children, right? Creation, which is the vaginal canal. And then Matthew's, the divine masculine's mouth is their portal where they need to speak their truth. And that's come up many times over the past 8 years even. So the temple of creation, which is the mother, and the temple of the lambda, which is the lamb to father, where the masculine needs to make a connection with the masculine God energy. And the 0 point portal here of the Newton's cradle direction of the Christ energy, or the crystal energy with a K, Krystal. And then for whatever reason, my name was coming up to break down, and L was coming up again, the Elohim. And a lot, when you're young and your name is Evelyn, a lot of people mistake it by saying Evelyn, or my brother used to call me Elephant all the time, which wasn't very nice, but he thought it was funny. So another word that came up here was EVL, and then the upside down lowercase e, N, M, lowercase, again, upside down EK, which means to get married. And it was broken down to EV because EV means house or home. It means royal house as well. And then EL, which represents Elohim. And then YN came up as well. EV is also the home board, the era, he, this, and these. The household family, but fire and hell as well. And then Esther was also coming up. And mother without sons. Also, commune in France was coming up. And again, the direction of Christ consciousness was coming up with some of these definitions. So ultimately what was coming up is the royal house of sacred light body, 10 to the minus 24 newtons, the home board of electricity, the dragon wing shack command point. And that's interesting too, right? Because we're going into the year of the dragon. I think that's February 10th. And then Newton is the force required to accelerate a mass of 1 kilogram by 1 meter per second. And is referenced by N, which is my code for Christ consciousness. And the N that falls over into the Z is the sleeping human, right? So the sacred house of Tibet also came up, and Tibet was just coming up in the messages from this morning, as well as Japan. So now we have the first message of the day, and this is on the 29th. So here we have the journey of love, and then the shaman deck. This is the Metatron deck, and then Nature's Whispers. For those of you not familiar, these are the underlying energies at the bottom of the deck. I usually pull 3 cards unless another wants to come out, and these all organically wanted to come out as well. So I use them as well in numerology and to complete the message. Okay. So this was on the 29th, and these were pulled 11, 21 to 22 is the Journey of Love, 23 to 24, which is the King and Queen of Wands. The 21 to 22 is the end of the cycle into the new cycle, right? The world into the Fool's journey. And we're leaving the Wounded Warrior's path to go on the Fool's journey. The Fool isn't at zero. The Fool is the one who's already fallen on their face and yet learned to remain themselves, be authentically themselves. You know, kind of like a teenager going out into the world for the first time. And so the Wounded Warrior path is like the frog to the prince, leaving the Wounded Warrior path, that victim mentality behind, to go on the Fool's journey with an open heart and that skip in your step. So we have the Journey of Love, then the Shaman, the King and Queen of Wands, the 23 and 24, which is last year into this year, right? We're now going into the dance of the masculine and the feminine, right? Last year was all about the King of Wands ego and learning how to keep that in check. And now we're dealing with the feminine ego, which is more of the enlightenment ego, right? Because it's not as intense as the masculine's ego. And the dance between them of each person, the masculine and the feminine, dancing between their own masculine and feminine within. And then we have the Metatron deck at 25, which is the Knight of Wands, which will be next year. And then Nature's Whispers, which is 1126, which then will be the year after that. And 26 also comes up as my Newton's Cradle, which is about, you know, the energy of the ball hitting the three balls, the three kings in the middle, hanging upside down. There's your three kings, or perhaps the three hanging out with Jesus at the crucifixion. And then we have the cards at the end came up as 1111, which in Gematria, the first entry is twin flames. And then also came up as 2113. And then I put them both together as well. So the twin flame world transitioning, 2 aligns with 3. The Queen's conception, right? The Q is the circle with the line going into it, which represents the egg and the sperm, as the eagle soars horizontally over the people's remembrance, which is the mountain. The Empress and the earth abundance of Ea's glee, that's the eagle, Ea's glee. The eagle, and E is the temple. It's also one equal and congruent to. Eagle is the temple of the sea. 2023 of the King of Wands exits stage left to 2024 into the Queen of Wands, Divine Feminine. His left hand, woman. Pillars of co-creation usher in the Hanging Man's wisdom as Sophia, who's Sophi, with her wisdom of Ea with connections. Soph, Ea, the wisdom of Ea. So then the tones of the chakra system are coming up of the Karayasata Allah, which is crystal, with a K, and the energy of the rays that stand tall, top dog and all. The royal house, the holy see, but not in reference to the Pope. The royal house, the holy see, see with your eyes, see with your emotions of the see, and see with the see of the Christ consciousness and of destiny, to the minus 24th, the Newtons, Omega, which is 24. The Newtons, which is coming up as the Christos Sophia, the Lamb, the top dog, who are on. And then the Royal Lion was coming up with Medusa and Med, because Mr. Ed, or my comical reference to God, or the masculine God anyway, he's introduced himself as Mr. Ed to me as Mr. Extra Dimensional, right? The extra dimensional, which is actually the intradimensional as well, right? The one and the all. But the energy of ED, but also came up as me. He introduces himself as me, also ME, and then he introduced himself as Med, MED, and Med Beds, and giving himself credit for all that stuff, right? And then here we have Medusa, which is Med USA. And U is also the Holy Grail, and S is Sophia, and A is the rocket taking off. Me, Ed, and Med, the Temple of Divine Co-Creation, USA, with her MB was coming up. So instead of the MD, like Mr. Ed, and instead of his wife being a doctor, she's the MB, or my bed. The Bath of Mary was coming up here, and the med beds, and Mercedes-Benz was coming up, which is the symbol of the singularity. That MB also is maybe money boy, my bone, which means I am well, or M-I-B-O-N-E, which means I am well. But the Mary's bath is like a double boiler, which will be, I guess, the med beds is some kind of, I'm just feeling into it, getting like ultrasound type energy. And the double boiler would reference the water is underneath, right, the central container. But there's definitely some kind of ultrasonic energy involved with that. So the Bath of Mary is the bain in French of Marie, and ceremony of 40 days after birth, cleansing of the woman from ritual impurities incurred at childbirth, right? The man's perspective of the feminine being impure once she gives childbirth. Legally defiled is the term they used. Offering up a pigeon or turtle dove with a yearling lamb. And by the way, it's 40 days for the male child, but 80 days after having a female child. But for Mary, the ritual was unnecessary. But Mary did it anyway to obey the law, but she didn't do the lamb. She did the pigeon. So then Mercedes broken down was coming up, and Mer again, all the M-A-R, M-E-R, all can be referenced as the sea. And then the cedar was coming up here, right? The cedars of the sea, and to surrender. And also benzene was also coming up. The sea seeds surrendering to the horsepower, or Mr. Ed, of 66 at the Golden Gate. Mr. and instead of doctors, MB, Mr. and MB, Ed, med and bed. Merc for Mercedes was coming up as Mercury, and then Edes, which is eddies, and EDES means even, but Mercury forward and stationary. HP 66 also came up, which is a car dash cam, 2021, HP 66, and metronidazole comes up as well, which is for bacterial infection, and then HP computer, HP ZHAN 66 Pro, 14, I think it was GZ, or G2 through 4. Tiger Lake Review, 11th generation laptop came up. And news on East Palestine, Ohio is coming up, and long-term health concerns, co-creating wisdom with the hanging man's leap through transition. So the eve of the rising sun was coming up here before New Year's Eve. But this was the night of the 29th. The eve of the rising sun in the 11th hour. And again, the heartbeat was coming up with the lighting up and the waterfall. And the royal house of Roslin was also coming up here. The definitions from my name were leading to that energy, the royal house of Roslin. So the rose also came up again today. And Buzz Lightyear was coming up. Newton and Newton's Cradle was coming up. And then Woody also came up with Buzz Lightyear a couple days ago. I forget what that message was. But the 19 and then 1,000 suns was coming up. And then the leap of the 739,000th day, which is April 9th. So the leap year is 229, and then that day is 49. Messier 83 was coming up. That's that card I post on Instagram of the 8 of love. It's my interpretation of Messier 83, which is part of Hydra. Then 718 also comes up significantly, like New Year's Day. So New Year's Day is like 49 and 718 and 1026 this year because it's a leap year. It wouldn't be that any other year, but the leap year this year. And then we're going from the dragon this year into the snake next year, which is Hydra, is the snake, M83. So this this message of the day, as we move on to 1227, the underlying energy was the 18 of distant shores, the 19 of the fallen angel, 42 of go with the flow, and 35 of culmination of a vision. And that's the energy of leaving the old, the dead trees and the dead leaves, leaving all the dead behind. As the romantic moon and bright sun, her distant shores of 4 moons. And we have had the wolf, January 25th, the snow moon is 224, the worm moon 325, and the pink moon was significant 423. Under the bridge in turbulent waters, as the sun falls in the light to 1 in the canoe, the whispering bench, going with the flow, which is that Sagittarius energy right now, in culmination of the wounded warrior's vision. The path ends here. At 1235, and that was all under the time of 1227, very interesting, because the read was done on the 29th, so it's like that time period, that last week of the year, which came up as the next 7 days, the chariot going over the bridge to carry you home. At 1235 is the hanging man and the wounded warrior, the underlying energy of the 59 of the 5 of swords, and the temple at the altar at the Lady of Liberty, as God speaks, with number 33, speaks romance into being. The current full moon, rippling out as God speaks for one and all, the inner war of unity consciousness in the polarized field. The 64 of sensual awakening and the 10 of swords, with the 2 of the high priestess divine feminine, within nothing is everything, what's underneath the bridge, the ground, the womb, and as we talked about, the hole at the bottom of the ocean, and the subconscious bliss of the higher self bubbling up to the surface. The 65 of the King of Pentacles, and breaking in, as she is in the vortex, leaps up fully open and arched, as he folds in, collapsed unto himself or herself, folding inside out through and through each other. As the 23 of the King of Wands, and last year across the waters, she stands in the wall, with light coming in fast to the 46 of the 6 of Cups, and just for a moment, joy of a direct hit of light to the heart. And then I was getting hit me with your best shot, and a total eclipse of the heart. 2023, post full moon, the Queen's choice, her pawn, as she fills up at the station, which is getting the sun. The 12:45 p.m. is the underlying energy of the 36 and lost in space, 64 of the woodwives, 19 of falling angel, and needing direction, taking a puff, space jam, looking for map of intent, and ending pain and experiencing bliss, adaptability to the tree, to leave space for falling angel sun, and spiritual narcolepsy. As we have the first card here of the 16 and the empty well, and suddenly time to replenish or fill up. With the 37 of the magician's sword and the King of Cups, with confidence in your magic. The 43 of the 3 of Cups, and overflow, overwhelm, and plenty of coming together. And the Sun, Scorpio, King of Cups, 43. The 44 of the perfect storm, which is this year, 44/8. The perfect storm of Hercules, of the raven, peacock, eagle, whose ravenous show-off on eagle's perch, her harvest, grounding and integrating, the overflow of gatherings, and needing time for both. The 44 standing guard as children play. And the 44, I think, I'm not a big watcher of sports on TV, but 44 tends to be, right, a lot of the blockers in football, right? So the 44 can represent Atlas and the weight of the world, but it has evolved into Hercules, which is her as the Atlas energy in a more of a social worker sense, but also has now come up as the same. It's like Athena, Lady Liberty, aka Hercules, and her harvest. So at 12:55 is the hanging man and the truth of Excalibur, the underlying energy of the 18 of Mother Earth and grounding support, right, as she stands guard and children play, of the ice cold moon, which was the last moon in December, the 15 of clarity within, the diamond light and showing in the mother's shadow, with 18 and 15, which are 33, the Christ vibration, and the Two of Cups in the canoe flowing with the salt river, reflecting and shadowing, with Cancer and Capricorn and Leo, the 23 of the King of Wands, duality and balance needed as you get sucked in near the falls, a revving up, a vacuum of the filling up, the 14 of boundaries with patience to set them daily, finding auric keys on the way to the rising sun, with Excalibur, the truth, and Saggy Magi, the 37 and the 38 of the King of Cups and Queen of Cups, with activated light body charging up his overflow in coming together. So again, this is my pin example, which I showed when I just started out. I got that pin download where the safety pin opening up, the sharp point is the feminine that leads into her ring at the bottom, which then moves into his ring at the bottom, and then he becomes the back of the pin and the housing up top. So she fills up with the sun, and then a vacuum closes the pin, and then when he uses up the energy, then the pin falls open again for her to fill up with the sun again. So here we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups together in that unconditional love energy. At 101, which is the 40 of evolution, which is the Page of Cups and Ea, and birthing the new baby in the womb, the rebirth of the heart, the Page of Cups, innocent sweetheart, and Ea's perch, the King of Cups, Queen of Cups, and Page of Cups, with Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces in the house of the rising sun, sword and key, and again we have the sun of the 8-year here, the rising sun, the sword and the key, and alchemy. At 105 is the Magician and the Hierophant, and the Hierophant's the master of the hidden house of alchemy, and we have the Magician, right? So going from the Magician energy to the Hierophant to master, with space between or go between those two energies, right? One being very outside the box and the other being by the book kind of energy. The underlying energy of the 3 of celebrating differences, and then the 1 of making a wish, 35 of culmination of vision. Land Ho was coming up with the unicorn, meets dolphin of the sea, where the sands of time leave space to grow and blend. Weaving wishes with mother's magic, leaping and spiraling at the intersection of the wounded warrior's surrender to culminate the old vision, allowing the dead leaves to fall away and nourish the land. At 108, which is the Magician and the Strength card, and also the 8 of this year, 2024, the first card was the 40 again, to show your support with the Page of Cups, the innocent ones, and the 33 of the 7 of Wands, to be gentle with yourself when standing up for yourself, the old and the new on the rainbow bridge, to 34, 8 of Wands, and vulnerability of coasting in. The little fairy girl in dried leaf medbed, coasting down the Borealis River under the pink moon, 4 moons from now. The new of 4/8 to 4/23, which includes that 4/9, right? So the end of Ramadan is 4/8 and the celebration is 4/9 from what I read. And then the, but to 4/23 is coming up, 4/8 to 4/23. Leaving behind the 9 candles, which is the 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior, and the victim mentality. Trusting the universe to know. The 36 of intuition of Esther Williams in Sink or Swim, with bathing cap and Mary's bath, in jacuzzi charging up, bathing in the waters of plasma ethers, in the energetic exchange and the arrows of love, with map of intent and chariot, little fairy girl, to amplify your positive emotions that ripple out far and wide, as a boomerang effect of Cancer and Sagittarius, Pisces and Leo, and the North Node in Aries. So I don't know what's in Cancer or Pisces right now, but we know that Mercury and Mars are conjunct in Sagittarius today, and we're in that Leo energy year, and the North Node's in Aries, of course. But the 28 of the 2 of Wands and the twin flame energy, the bountiful harvest preparing the fields, as mother pulls up the blankets along with dove, as crowns light up for all to see, July and twin flames, and the 33 of the 33rd Olympiad, from winter to spring and in between, rest, trust, and notice the little things, Ea's glee and the new human heart, 2 sweet peas in a pod, and a huge canvas to color on. All about the little girl here, and I got a big connect right there. At 1, 2, 3, which is that leap, and 1, 2, 3, the Magician and the King of Wands, it's all about the little girl here growing roots. Growing roots, who in the spring becomes the rose, to splatter all over summer fun with joy for everyone. So dip your toes in at 124, my toes too, after splitting, coming together in harmony. So it's coming up as, right, so mitosis is the splitting of cells, but we're doing the reversal, just like that movie Lucy, where the cells all come back into one again. So 2 come to 1, and then that one comes to another. So we're doing the reverse process. So the reverse word of mitosis is SISOTIM, which seesaw is sister, sense, and wisdom. The seesaw, understanding of the top dog, I am. And Tim, TIM, is to weave and build, unearth. So at 220 is the divine feminine, high priestess or higher self, and the 20 of the judgment, the wake-up call. And it's also 22 and 0, which is source energy backing up the fool's journey, of the moon and the sun, 1 to 1. Coast through the last days of 2023 with a sensual awakening, suddenly all 4 elements at once, with the King of Wands and Page of Cups, and the King of Swords knocked off balance to fall into his heart. Pisces, Scorpio, and the High Priestess or higher self, and unconditional love, only those most worthy to carry Excalibur, and you notice the Callies in caliber, folded and hammered at the Y in the road, projecting to a point in the stone, path of 1, following the path of the patient sun. The King of Cups and the King of Wands, with Pisces, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, amidst the sun and moon, and a message of love on the way, in the breaking of the King of Pentacles coming together with the Queen of Cups, in a flood of emotions and vulnerable exchange of the arrows of love, following the flow and being guided across the waters from 23 to 24 in a moment of joy before the perfect storm, which is the year 8, of Atlas and Hercules in the evolution of love, birthing the new at the eagle's nest, preparing for their arrival. A lot of work to open the crown, and the weight of the world bringing in the chariot to carry the twin flames to their new home, a whole new world, at 237, which is the higher self and the King of Cups of unconditional love, but also the 3 keys of alchemy. And so before I forget this, because I'm not sure if it's in the next read or not, because I had made other notes as well, I was getting downloads of like children pushing their way in right now. So don't be surprised if there are babies coming in, because they're pushing their way in right now. We're getting a whole slew of babies, and there's something between the different types of babies that are coming in, and hopefully it'll be included in the next message. I can't remember which notes it was in. But at 237 is the higher self and the King of Cups, and the 3 keys of alchemy, a higher love. The last 7 days of the year were the 25th to the 31st, the 7 days of the 2023 chariot bridge to the new world. The King of Wands and the King of Cups, masters of inspiration and love, breathing and existing in the heart. Old wives' tale ends as new crown begins. Ea's sweetheart, Mar Ea, the sea of Ea, and Soph Ea, the wisdom of Ea, as Soph Ea as counsel, as Atlas meets Hercules at Mount Olympus, which, by the way, OLY of Olympus means sacred. It's like Ollie and Puss, you know, like Puss in Boots, Ollie and Puss. And a lot of, like, the Toys R Us expression has been coming up with different words as well. So Ollie and Puss, which is the lion. So again, the energy of the Olympics and the lion, the sacred lion. All right, so then we have, let's see what I wrote up top too. Oh, I'd gone back to look back in my notes from 2019 because I was watching Twin Astrology, and she was talking about the asteroid belt bridges, because bridges kept coming up. And as you know, if you listen to my messages, bridges have been coming up a lot in the last couple months. So I also, in January 1st, 2020, I noticed a quote that I'd written down, the CD6, 10, 1 sun gods and the Pleiadians were coming up there, and the boiling point. Very interesting, as I just talked about the hole with the temperatures of the hole in the ocean, but also the boiling point of Mary's bath and the med beds coming in. Oh, that would be like the double boiler. So if it does heat up the bottom of the ocean, it acts like a double boiler, like a med bed, which would be a good thing then because it's healing the ocean. Very interesting. I do get messages now and then from Mel Brand, and I was getting other messages from him. Let's see here. All right. So let's get to this last message here from the first. All right. So here's this last message of the day. Okay, so this one has the Journey of Love at the top, and then the Fortune's Oracle, then the Energy deck, and then Nature's Whispers at the bottom there. Okay. Oh, by the way, before, because I forgot last time, I have extra cards, so I told you I pulled 10 cards for this first read, and these were the last cards, and that's the Divine Masculine's Heart in the Batcave. So I wanted to show that to you. There's the Three of Pentacles, and then there's the Divine Feminine in the E-Tower, and there's the Masculine outside trying to figure out the crystal arrangements on how to get in, because there's a lot of inflow going into the E-Tower over there. And then we have the King of Cups of Unconditional Love with the Page of Swords over here. That was the end of the read on the table. All right, so this message of the day was done on the 1st from 4 to 4:02. And 4 is, again, that L1 lambda leap. But it's also the Emperor, it's stability and building, those energies, and then double zeros, source energy backing up that structure. And then the 01 and 2 of the Masculine, Feminine, the Magician, and the High Priestess. So again, we had 4 1s. So the Twin Flames came up again, along with 3, 2, 4, 1. And the Twin Flame journey for 1 or 2, the Empress, Queen of Wands, and Magician or High Priestess, or pillars co-creating transition to new love, self-love, or sisterly love, or the Two of Cups partnership. The eagle soaring towards the vertical lambda leap with Omega, enlightenment between. Or the Empress, High Priestess, or Queen with the Emperor, Magician embodiment, as the eagle soars in the realm of the living library, above the remembrance of the mountains, watching over others, and the clouds of thunder rolls as lightning strikes. And then for me, lightning and thunder, lightning is Michael and thunder is Metatron. But you could reference that as Zeus energy as well, which could represent Enlil and Enki. Just depends on your perspective. So the underlying energy is 413, which is the Emperor and the 13 transition, which is today's energy, even though this was done on the 1st. 4 and 13 is today because it's the 4th, and the day adds up to 13. So both of those energies are right here. The underlying energy of 21, that she is the moon, 23 of the owl and wisdom, the 35 of the first chakra of Archangel Michael then came up after lightning struck, and the 32 of trust your own understanding. The Pisces world of daughter moon, with the King of Wands having received bits of wisdom along their 2023 year. As the wounded warrior at the root stands guard, safety and security boundaries, as the twin flames are protected by Michael, while they learn to trust their own understanding on their journey to bring good news from a higher perspective, above. The Eagle's course, going back and forth through 0 point, base camp, ground control to Major Tom Tom, the grounders and the flyers, the shamans and the ETs, making sure the coast is clear after coasting in to 2024/8. So at 420, which is the 4 again, and the 20 of the wake-up call, the judgment. But 420 is also the time and room my son was born into, and he also can have that masculine energy. The underlying energy of the 7 of the key shifting universes to the 6 of the angel of Jupiter awaken is lovers aligning, the lovers in the chariot, the 68 of the page of pentacles, that curious student of life, with an opportunity and invitation to drop into your heart. The 10, which is today, that day, right? So the 1st of January added up to 10. So we literally had the 1 of the earth. 10 was coming up as Terra, 100 as Gaia, and 1,000 above. Today, that January 1st was the 10, January 1st, 2024, and that 3 to 1 jump card, or the countdown of 10, 4, and then 3 to 1. So 10, 4, right, is message received, and then 3 to 1 is that 3, 2, 1 jump. And it's also going from the 4, right? The 10 and the 4 of the masculine energy, the emperor of the lambda leap, and the 10 of the completion, right? That's going into the next cycle. And then the 3 to 1 of the horizontal line of the eagle to 1. The message received, horizontal to vertical, as here 1 comes, or here 1 comes up as the 3D Earth, the 10 of the 4D Terra, and the 100 as the 5D Gaia, and the 1,000 being above. As the 10 destined lambda leap, the 4 being the home, but the 3 mother bursts the 1, so she must remain grounded. The countdown for the world, and again, I'm talking about giving birth, right? She has to stay grounded if she's going to give birth. So that energy of the shaman as opposed to the flyer, so then the masculine would be the flyer. The countdown for the world, divine feminine and divine masculine, with Pisces as she is the moon. She is the MO, the mother with MO, and he is just on. As the numbers came up 7668121, the gears shifted into alignment for heart-centered consciousness. Cancer, Gemini, Libra, and Pisces here, 2 cards and 2 mutes, and an earthy page of pentacles. Then the next deck, first card, was the 38 of the Queen of Cups, and the pearl threaded through. The calla lilies and her soft center that's mutable, sowing the seeds of love, with the 62 of the choice, with 38 and 62 equaling 100, which is Gaia, and then 1 to 1, which totals the let's see, wait. So this 38 to 6 and 62 is 100. But the cards adding up total were 121, which is the 1 to 1 energy. Released or imprisoned by the 25 Knight of Swords with a slow burn and the seed of the heart, right? He's the one who places the question mark in the heart. So she fills him up with her light, and he fills her heart up with the inspiration of the question mark. At 434 is the Emperor and the 8 of Wands, the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands, who questions everything, including her soft spiraling, including her soft heart and spiraling in for a clue. The first card out here is the Heart Fire, and the 63 of the Light Field, the 26 of the Guardian of the Soul Family. The Magician's Heart Fire bursts through the soft rose heart, on the bridge exposed to the elements. Suffering in silence in the Light Field, she takes it all in to feed his heart, as the Page of Wands Lion's Heart, the Guardian of the Soul Family in the vortex, or the underground tunnels. Or one takes the tunnel and the other takes the bridge, burrowing through the mass or getting slammed by the light and breathing and breaking the sound barrier. And that can reference the med beds as well. But again, all the rockets going up. 21 plus 100 plus 90 is 211, which can represent urgent community needs, right? Needing a visionary. At 439 is the Emperor and the Knight of Cups, the underlying energy of the 28 and the Hydra Snake, the 24 of Patience and the Hourglass, and the 33 of the Unicorn and their shadow. The snake lay in wait, right? Because we have the dragon year before we get to the snake. The snake lay in wait for others to catch up. with patience to crown and bridge to cross, across in pairs of twos. But it's also getting the Z's of those who are asleep, pushing them across the bridge as 33. To 8, to 4, to dance in order to leap, to make it across the 33 bridge as two birds soaring, as the pair or gate holders hold the rails, but it's up to the crosser to put down the planks between the rails. 24, 33, and 23 equals 80. The year of the 8 was source support, collecting bits of wisdom along the way. Through the 3 of Swords, 57, and the 56, 2 of Swords, which is the, right, getting over the broken heart and the new information that knocks you off balance, or that clarity. The next first card is the 6 of the Chariot of the King of Wands, going back for the dragonfly dance. 2 hearts is 1 and a beautiful mind. As the Page of Pentacles is a new opportunity, or the King of Wands invites in 2024/8 with sudden lion's roar, yawn, or just can't hold it in anymore, in a rebel yell or shout out to the past. With the 12 and the 7, the Fool and the Cracker Jack, best friends in the Chariot having a blast, or watching fireworks, or just experiencing the fireworks within. 766811021 that I mentioned on the prior page is the Chariot at the Golden Gate of 81, complete, and 21, completion with space between. Finishing a human cycle around the world in AD days +1. At 4, 5, 6, pick up sticks, with the 23, 6, 8, 16, 12, and 7, and the energy of the 72 total by twos, the gift of a higher love in 2024, at 501, which is the Hierophant and the Magician again, as the underlying energy of the 42. Prior to that is the 43, the man with the coin, and then the 42 is the woman with the coin, right? So it's kind of like the King and Queen of Pentacles together, and then the 3 of blossoming abundance, and then the 44 of the woman holding her heart, the 20 of envy, and the 35 of Archangel Michael. The 43 and 42 are the man and woman with coin, the blossoming abundance soaring towards the 44, right? So we have 42, 43, and 44 now, the woman holding the heart. The 35 of wounded warrior Archangel Michael, with envious, judgmental, dark woman between them, perhaps an Aquarius or abundant couple, sends kids to their grandmother, or King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles with envious people around them, or vice versa, and the King and Queen of Pentacles envy the love between the woman with a heart and her warrior, or that Michael energy. So at 510, or the 5 and dime, is the Hierophant and the Wheel of Fortune, and the 27 of walking away, the 37 of the 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel, and the 7 of community. And right when I was doing these notes, somewhere between 4 and 5:30 that day, I had just let Teddy out back, and I went to close the front door because it was getting dark out, or it was almost dark. And as I went to close the door, like 7 deer dart out from my driveway. So I don't know if they scared Teddy or not when I let him out, because I didn't see them out back. So they were probably on the other side of the fence in the driveway. But there were like 7 of them on the property, which I rarely see so many deer over here. So that was pretty cool. So the energy of Archangel Chamuel in the 3rd chakra, the 7 of community, the wounded warrior and the King of Cups angels, the 1st and 3rd chakras with Michael and Chamuel. And again, now remember, the humans are the who's from man. And who's on first came up here. So now referencing the who man. Who's on first? I don't know, 3rd, and that's referencing Chamuel. And shortstop is I don't care, as she darts off the field, as the fans, the female fans, are very engaged from the community, or admiring the work done, or the handsome angels at her gates, or friends envious of her male attention, or her mate, or whose mother doesn't like the kind of attention he's getting. Or envious fire sign leaves due to the King of Cups receiving too much female attention. with 19, 29, 34, and 45, the sun at rest on break with a gift of a macro perspective of the world, or from the pier or planks, remote viewing the earth, or satellite apps, or feeling safer knowing I dunno is on third rock from the sun, and who on first able to communicate with the ones who don't care. All is right with the world or peaceful day, with the energetic exchange and hours of love of the door to personal healing and happiness, with the man holding a heart. After letting some fresh air inside, and some plants perhaps, or clearing the air and getting over oneself and their micro perspective, as the moon and sun, or daughter or son and daughters, along with the King of Wands and 2023, leave the wounded warrior behind, knowing the indigos are on duty, or border patrol, as the underlying energy at 544, which is the Hierophant and the Four of Cups energy of Hercules, the 1 of making a wish, the 41 of being in service, the 9 of the perfect setting, and 15 to catch your breath. And 32, trust your own understanding. The magician with new love, the hermit shadow on a journey, making a wish to be in service. The octopus teacher and seahorse, or Andromeda and Pegasus, as hermit paints the perfect setting for the little girl fairy to catch their breath, to hug a tree, or perhaps come home for a moment, or ground at home, to do some shadow work, as Gemini or Divine Masculine, Virgo and Capricorn, with good news, or paying attention to the little ones and gaining a wider perspective, underwater, in the sky, dandelions and the family tree, the border patrol reporting back to everyone from their perspective. The 17 of infinite blessings, the 8 of the breakthrough, the 25 to keep your dreams alive, where dreams come true, perhaps some snow or fairy dust from the stars you are, you know. Batter up for the catcher of today and pitcher of tomorrow, because what's-his-face is on second, because center field has to make a short stop who doesn't give a damn, and why? Because they're out in left field trying to run home before tomorrow, but tomorrow's been busy pitching the catch of the day. So anyway, healing a breakthrough to keep your dreams alive, the journey of the supernova star, 2024 in the Knight of Wands, keeping watch, spreading cheer, leaping open-hearted into turbulent waters in the dance of the butterflies to sweep you off your feet and kiss your blues away. Blue baby blows a kiss. So there was a Pleiadian reference. Sometimes that can be a child who you've lost is blowing you a kiss, but it was all specifically referencing the Pleiadian babies coming in there. So this was the other message about the babies coming in. There are musicians returning. All right, Michael Jackson and Elvis were both coming in, and I totally forgot that they were related because of Lisa Marie. So Michael Jackson and Elvis were coming up as returning, and some of the other names that were coming up were Colin Cozy Powell, Jimmy Cobb, Buddy Rich, and Keith Moon. So a lot of drummers and then dancers, drummers and dancers. The little drummer boy was coming up specifically. And Charlie Watts. Yeah, Charlie Watts also came up. There's a few names that come up who are still here. So I don't, I think someone was, I think it was Sam who was talking about the dark agenda trying to manipulate through music. So they may be the ones who are being manipulated to send a negative message. But these new babies are coming in. Like a whole bunch of them. Kind of like to counteract those energies. Even if they're babies, it doesn't matter because their energy will counteract that because it's so innocent. So anyway, healing breakthrough to keep your dreams alive in the journey of the supernova star 2024 in the Knight of Wands, keeping watch, spreading cheer, leaping open-hearted into turbulent waters in the dance of the butterflies, to sweep you off your feet and kiss your blues away. And again, there's the blues energy coming up from musicians as well. The blue baby blows a kiss. At 6:16 to 17, which is the Tower and the Star, again, that supernova kind of energy of the lovers, the blue baby told me they're Stacy's fire sign. Anyway, there's somebody I was getting that their baby's telling me they're coming. So there could be unexpected pregnancies here in a leap of faith with the 22. And 2024 Leo jumps right in. Good news from Star Child as the 21 Pisces takes a fresh approach to Mother or Gaia. All three fire signs here with Aquarius and Pisces, and all about February. Someone newly pregnant with Pleiadian child who's all about fire in February, or F, the letter F marks the spot, which is digamma or twin flame energy. Or a slew of butterflies are jumping in Aquarius, Pisces, or Lion's Gate. Specific dates that were coming up were like February 1st, 2nd, 5th, but even perhaps 21st, 22nd, and 25th, and then March 2nd or 17th, or anything with 8s in it were coming up as well, and the lion's share. Not just Pleiades, but Sirius and Andromedans and Sagittarius A, bird people, cat people, and dog star, all waiting in line to push through. Lions making the most impact here, and dear ones are traveling in packs. And again, there's that pack of deer that were in my yard as well. Or they're making a pact. And then, of course, Michael Jackson was coming up as, you and I will make a pact. We will bring salvation back. Where there is love, I'll be there. So that was coming up. ET musicians to counteract the negative, I was getting big connection there. To counteract the negative's attempt to use musicians to spread their agenda through AI means. Grounders and flyers, drummers and dancers, as the Queen of Cups hits the road with Cinderella's chariot to spread blessings. Release of the Titans, I'm just getting now, but release of the dragonflies and beautiful minds. The King of Cups in a breakthrough of the butterflies. The dance of the crazy eights. The Knight of Wands with a sudden longing for community or to travel, friends, or July to August and the call of the Olympians. The Knight of Wands, Tower, Chariot. So you might feel like, you know, if you haven't been working out, you're going to be inspired right now to get back and working out. Again, all about using the body, athletics, physical health is coming up major right now. As the Knight of Wands, Tower, and Chariot, the Knight of Wands and the Twin Towers also coming up here. As the Knight of Wands number 2 is escorting Sirius community and the call of the wild, lighting a fire to keep your dreams alive, and there's that energy of the masculine lighting the fire under your butt. A major heart opening of the divine masculines here. With babies, pets, the road, and again, wanting to go on the road, and the silence within. The leap year, a new approach. Valentine's Day was coming up significantly too. 2/14/24 adds up to 24, so that's very significant. And then 2/29/24 adds up to 39, which is the Knight of Cups. So the leap year, a new approach to bridging to 2/22/2024, which is the Venus-Mars conjunction. 2/2/2/2, so there's 4 2s and then 24, and it adds up to 32, which is the journey. One of those other drummers that came up was Ringo, Phil Collins, the little drummer boy, and Alex Van Halen. But again, they're still here. So they may be affected in some way, okay? So January 7th, 8th, or 17th was also coming up. Blessing the fairies, blessing the land and butterflies, the waters. Like I said, 2/5, 2/22, 3/2, 3/21, February butterfly kisses off planet to get you to leap. On February 29th, the leap year at 7:07, 2/22 is the Mars and Venus conjunction. And this is this energy, they were giving me the energy of 2/22 through March 21st. So that whole time period is significant. Scorpio longs, Leo roars. Aquarius is very dark or light, one way or the other, very polarized. And Taurus hanging low, sitting tight behind the scenes. A serious question of morality perhaps here, or country starlets or roadies being frivolous. I looked up Priscilla and Lisa Marie too when Elvis came up. And remember, Lisa Marie passed of an intestinal obstruction, and also she dealt with with Michael's death with drugs, and then Elvis died of drugs, 8/16/77. And I have a connection to Elvis because I was born in in Baptist Memorial Hospital, but I also got married at age 23 on his birthday, January 8th. So I've a connection there somehow. Now, Elvis had a really unusual astrological chart of like I don't know if it's all Capricorn or just mostly Capricorn, but very Capricorn. And Michael, so he passed 8/16/77, and Michael Jackson passed 6/25/09. But I was watching a Lisa interview, and it was a big repeat of that drug death. And she'd only said kind things about Michael. She didn't say anything negative or mean about him. But that was very interesting to read. What also came up here? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, and don't forget to check out my Instagram messages because I've been posting pretty significant messages over there too. I usually do the card of the day, so my cards astrologically, and then I do the crystal angels at least every day, and sometimes I'll post something else, but the significant messages usually come up with those two reads. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's good. Let me pull a card for you before we go. Yeah, I still have to post my Crystal Angels card. I actually wrote it today. I have to transcribe that to my Instagram message. So I'm still going to post that one. I have done that one already. That's the one who led to my initial messages today. So let's see, from Messages of Love, let's do that. That's simple. At 131:28, which is the Magician, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Wands. And the 31 is also the three of the eagle soaring to the one of the vertical. So the horizontal to the vertical. As there was a squirrel just leaping vertically. I mean horizontally across. Okay, for the twin flames. Again, today is January 4th, 2024 for the twin flames. What is the message? Boundaries. Firm boundaries are needed now. Along with regret, someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. Past life love, that your soul remembers this intense connection. And then children are important to this partnership. You've learned the spiritual lesson. All right, so all very positive energies there. And passion, try something you've never done before. Okay, so the underlying energy here is the retreat card. Time alone or in nature will help you recharge. Okay, let's see what was below that. All right, so you've been protected. You're safely and divinely guided. Time alone or in nature will help you recharge right now. And again, for me, in my messages, physical health was coming up as very important this week. And just, it's typical time that people try to get back in shape. But because this is a Leo year too, it's very significant this year. All three fire signs keep getting activated. So, and again, here's all the cards together that came out. So boundaries, someone regrets. Your soul remembers this intense connection. Children are definitely involved here. And again, this is that rod and staff connections of the families and the children. You've learned the spiritual lesson and try something passionate you've never done before. So there you go. Remember to be good to yourself, patient with yourself and others. Don't let people walk all over you, but yet don't get on your own case as well. If you react to something when you don't want to react to something, it's okay. Let it all be. It just got brighter outside. Like it got earlier, but it's getting later. That was weird. It's like time's being reversed. Age is being reversed. All right, so remember to drink plenty of clean water, get plenty of rest, joy, and nature. And Aquarius is going to all be about laughter. Aquarius is aqua and Rias, which is laughter. So the water emotions of laughter. Laughter is the best medicine, right? And love is the best healer. Rise and be love. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.